Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. It's Saturday morning, and so we're gonna kick it off with some Saturday morning news. But before I get into it, shout out to the channel members, and also know this that there will be a channel members only broadcast today. And the subject that we're going to be talking about today on the members only is the Apple iPhone SE, the next version, and it possibly having 5G. We're going to be talking about that in that. So if you're not a channel member, hey, come on and join so you guys can get in on the action. Anyways, so good morning to everybody. Yeah, this was just kind of like spur of the moment type thing. As you're coming in, please do the honors of smashing the like button because it really, really, really helps circulate the show. And if you're on the Twitch side, go ahead and subscribe. Would really appreciate that. So we got a couple of things to talk about today. So we're going to be covering, Facebook, 553 users, phone numbers and such leak. Facebook just not really doing good with privacy, man. They're always getting back into the fray when it comes to user privacy. And it's been happening over the last 4 years. And so we got our 2021 screw up from Facebook already. We're going to be talking about the ultra rare copy of Super Mario Brothers for the NES, and it auctioned for $600,000+, so the highest ever for that. And then also covering the Verge's article with Google and it limiting which apps can see everything you have installed. So privacy kind of coming on to the Google side of things. So yeah, as you're coming in, feel free to say hi, and thank you for joining in. So I think we'll give like another 2 minutes for more people to join in. That way more people can catch the very first thing, because we're going to be talking about Google and with, what's going on with the Google thing. So yeah, hopefully let me know if the live stream is doing well. I just want to make sure that, everything is going good on the live stream. As I totally forgot to switch to iPhone. Actually, let me switch it to, I use Facebook and all my friends and family use Facebook. Now I'm scared to return to Facebook now. Hang on one sec, Gene. Don't go anywhere. Let me see if I can get this connected to the AT&T hotspot, just so that it's a better stream, which it might end up kicking me out here in a second. So hold on. That's probably one thing I forgot to do. Okay, I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me. Alrighty then. Why did it? Okay, sorry for technical difficulties there. Yeah, no, I went out. Basically, I was just like switching out on the Wi-Fi, so switching to the AT&T hotspot. Let me know if it's actually doing better right now. If it starts freezing, please let me know. I just want to make sure everything's all good. So anyways, like I was saying, we're going to be covering Facebook. Actually, let's just lead in with Facebook first, okay? I think that's important information for people to kind of grab. So Facebook, not doing so well. Okay. All right, so we have that here. I'll post it in the chat too. This is from Business Insider, but I'll post it in the chat. So if you want to, grab the link, read for yourself later, that's totally fine. Anyways, so let's just go into it. Right, so as it says, 53 million Facebook users' phone numbers and personal data have been leaked online. Not a good look. Bulletin points, the personal data of over 500 million Facebook users has been posted online in a low-level hacking forum. The data includes phone numbers, full names, locations, email addresses, and biographical information. Security researchers warn that the data could be used by hackers to impersonate people and commit fraud. So here we go. Good thing I'm not on Facebook anymore. But who knows when they did this? They could have got it before I even left Facebook. A user in a low-level hacking forum has published the phone numbers and personal data of hundreds of millions of Facebook users for free online. The exposed data includes personal information of over 533 million Facebook users from 106 countries, including over 32 million records on users in the US, 11 million on users in the UK, and 6 million on users in India. It includes their phone numbers, Facebook IDs, full names, locations, birth dates, bios, and in some cases, email addresses. Insider reviewed a sample of the leaked data and verified several records by matching known Facebook users' phone numbers with the IDs listed in the data set. We also verified records by testing email addresses from the data set in Facebook password reset feature, which can be used to partially reveal a user's phone number. The leaked data could provide valuable information to cyber criminals who use people's personal information to impersonate them or scam them into handing over login credentials. According to Alan Gao, CTO of cybercrime intelligence firm in Hudson Rock, who first discovered the leaked data on Saturday. A database of that size containing the private information, such as phone numbers of a lot of Facebook users, would certainly lead to bad actors taking advantage of data to perform social engineering hacks or attacks and hacking attempts, Gao told Insider. Facebook did not immediately respond to multiple requests for comment. Gao first discovered the leaked data in January when a user in the same hacking forum advertised an automated bot that could provide phone numbers for hundreds of millions of Facebook users in exchange for a price. Motherboard reported on the bot's existence at the time and verified that the data was legitimate. Now the entire data set has been posted on a hacking forum for free, making it widely available to anyone with rudimentary data skills. So this is a big problem. Definitely a big problem. Not too happy to hear anything like that of the sort. It's time to sue Facebook because everyone I know uses Facebook for violation of privacy and agreement that we all agreed when we signed up. Well, they didn't violate anything. So, I mean, that's a little misconception right there. Facebook didn't give the information. They were hacked, which means that, I don't know, when it comes to Facebook, I honestly feel like that their cybersecurity is like Game Boy level security because they're constantly getting hacked. At first, they gave away, they gave data away. This was the Cambridge Analytica scandal. That's something that, Facebook would actually be held accountable for and could be sued for. But this is completely different. They were hacked. Their entire platform was hacked, and then a lot of information was ciphered, and that poses a big problem because while people don't think about it, they're like, yeah, what can anyone do with my information or whatnot. You really don't know what they can do with your information, and what they can do with your information can shock the hell out of you. You're talking about going beyond having credit cards opened in your name. I mean, that's like the least amount of like the things that they can do. They can literally like put an identity to somebody and help them cross the border into this country under your credentials. You know what I mean? I'm not entirely sure how border security works or what kind of dossiers they have on every citizen here in the U.S. Would they be able to tell? Like if someone came to the border and said they were me and they were in a vacation in Mexico and they were coming back to the U.S. and it completely created fraudulent identifications like passports and IDs and stuff like that, knowing, information about me, knowing what they can say, can they present that at the border and pass through, or is there something that flags it? See, those are some of the things that I think about. Like somebody can enter this country and pose as me. Someone can enter this country, pose as me, and get a job under me. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know whatsoever. It's not like, you know, it's not like you get any type of warning alert. Like if you go to file your taxes and you bring your W-2s to file your taxes, just because you can file them without the other one. Like if you're working two jobs, you can claim one and not the other one. And it's not like they'll know up front. I mean, you can get penalized, but it's not like they'll know that you didn't file your claim on your second job. So somebody can actually pose as me, get an apartment under me somewhere like in like North Carolina or Florida or something, get a job under me, work that job, completely sacrificing the income tax return, if there would be any. Yeah. And it could potentially backfire on me, even harder, because let's say like, a person gets a job under my credentials, and the way everything is set up is, more than likely that, if I was to have the W-2 to that job and claim it, and they could end up saying, yeah, you know what, this year you owe us $2,000 in federal taxes. Like you owe us instead of getting paid out. That could fall underneath me. I can claim, I can get hit for things like that. These are things that people got to think about. It's not just about, like procuring a credit card under your name, because if you have crappy credit, obviously they're going to find that out really fast when they can't do anything credit wise with you. Let's see. Why are overseas people making it easy to get people's information by hacking? And we try everything we can to stop it, but it comes right back. Well, I mean, if you kind of think about how the things, well, if you're talking about like overseas, like people coming into this country right now, obviously the gates are wide open. I mean, they are open. I'm sorry to say it. This current administration is actually, welcoming people to just cross in, no background checks, no due process, just, hey, come to the border, come on in. So, I mean, then now, it's not that tight of a security as it was before. Side note, one of the saddest things I seen was coyotes throwing, I think it was a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old over a wall that was a border. I think it was in the Mexico area. They threw him over a wall onto the U.S. side. And luckily, Border Patrol agents were there to rescue the kids. But I mean, yeah, it's just getting out of hand. Once other countries know that it's easier to get back into the U.S., people will come. They will come. They will come. They will get the jobs. They will, they will flood in here. And while we do have a lot of resources, for people here in the U.S., we don't have enough for the entire world. And people kind of forget that aspect. But yeah, it just, people want to come here for various reasons. I'm not going to knock the reasons why they want to come over here, but this opens up a market for people to get, falsified documentations for them to get in, and this type of thing where your information is stolen from social platforms and things like that could really assist in the movement of that magnitude to bring a lot of people in. It starts all over again. Online identity theft. Yep. I mean, that stuff happens all the time. I'm not downplaying it and saying like there's nothing that that should be done about it or anything like that. But to be quite honest, I do feel like that Facebook obviously is held to some sort of a degree of responsibility on this. Does Facebook actually care? I don't think so. Mark Zuckerberg's not losing sleep over this. He's really not. I mean, even if people were to do a class action lawsuit or anything like that, he's not losing sleep over it. I mean, he's, we kind of forget just how big Facebook is and how big of an empire that Zuckerberg built. And then, of course, tag teaming the entire country with, his partner in crime, Jack Dorsey, literally tips the scale in their favor. I mean, what politician is really going to 100% stand against Facebook and Twitter when they have proven to the entire world how powerful they are? And what I mean by that is if you go back to last year, right before the elections, what happened to a certain person in power, and what happened to him? He was canceled. Literally, they canceled his Twitter. Facebook wouldn't mess with him. They took down Parler to make sure he didn't have another platform to go to, and just every other social platform was just not messing with him. So Facebook and Twitter and they showed the world just how powerful they are. And our government does not seek to put any restraints on them, because our government currently right now uses them as a tool to help push their ideology. So you have this whole situation where it is technically one hand washes the other, a quid pro quo. You know what I mean? They stay out of the tech giant's business, and the tech giant furthers their beliefs and what they want pushed to the entire country. It's a handshake deal that's working for both. So if we were to go and sue, Facebook, just how far would we really get with them? And then on top of it, who in that upper tier is going to stand with us? That's a big problem. See? So while, we can say all we want on social platforms, yeah, Facebook's at fault. Facebook's privacy sucks. They have Game Boy level security, or less than Game Boy level. We can say what we want. We can say they got Tamagotchi level security. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really impact Facebook at all whatsoever. We can do a class action lawsuit, and that can probably put some hush money in our mouths. Like, yeah, let's say, those 553 million Facebook users, band together in a class action lawsuit, and let's say the lawsuit wins $10 million. Well, you take $10 million, you got to divide that by 533 million people. And that's globally, right? Because it was like 36 million were affected US users, 11 million in India, 6 million in India, 11 million in the UK. And then the rest is spread out throughout the world. So, well, let's just say that the 36 million Facebook users here decided a class action lawsuit, and the lawsuit's for $10 million. Now you got to take $10 million, you got to divide it by 36 million people, and then that's what you get. That's how class actions work. So it's not that everybody gets 10 million each. Because I read an article where someone believed that they were joining a class action lawsuit. The class action lawsuit, I think, was against Google, and it was, I think the amount was like 5 million that the lawsuit was asking for in damages. And that person thought, I'm going to get 5 million. And I remember chatting with them like, no, you're not going to get 5 million. That 5 million is going to be divided amongst how many people's listed on this, class action lawsuit. And yeah, that person was pretty pissed off to know that what they made back out of that class action was $25. So it's not that's not, class action lawsuits doesn't mean that everyone gets 5 million. It doesn't work that way. But this is alarming because, again, the last 3 or 4 years, Facebook and personal data has just been ripped away. So why are people still using this? Because I do remember when people were absolutely afraid of letting Facebook Messenger have permissions to your camera and have permissions to your contact lists and to have permissions with your phone. A lot of people were afraid. I remember that because people were like, go in there, go in your Facebook, go in settings, go into apps, go to Facebook Messenger, go into permissions and turn this off because they're spying on you. That's what I'm saying. Like, the hypocrisy level in social platforms is just astounding. It's just astounding on just how bad it is. You will complain that the app has certain access to certain things. You will create fear and fearmonger on the internet about privacy issues and things like that. But you will continue to use the platform. See, I've narrowed down my usage to Twitter. So like, Twitter is my all-in-one, right? Do I trust Twitter? No. Do I carefully post what I'm thinking? Yes, because Twitter is becoming a monopoly on just about everything with the social platform. And Twitter, which I will talk in a different podcast, but Twitter eventually could have the power to really force you, like put a muzzle on you that is like a filter that you'll only say what they are allowing you to say and nothing more. And if people don't believe me on that, just wait till I drop that podcast and go over each bulletin point that I've been putting together. You guys will actually be astounded just by what I'm about to come up with as far as why Twitter is kind of dangerous. But that's, I digress. That's for another time. Look, the simple thing is like this. If you don't want your information to leak out that way, you have to get off the platform. You have to deactivate your accounts on Facebook if you don't want your information being stolen, because Facebook has already proven to the entire world that they have Tamagotchi security for their users. Anyone can go in there and pretty much hack and cipher all that information. That's a lot of freaking information to get and to have. And the person decided to post that information for free in a hacking forum. For free. At first, they were selling it. And just imagine, I don't know what the person was thinking, but I'm not happy that it's posted online for free. If they had a little bit of greed, I would be okay with that. Now, some of y'all might think that's crazy to be like, yo, Tito, what the hell are you saying, man? You're saying that you would rather have this person sell it? Yes, because it gives us a little bit of time, and it spares from people grabbing our information that quickly. See, if they looked at it and realized the same way, like, Cambridge Analytica was going to make money off of our data from Facebook. If this person thought the same way, I was like, hey, I'm going to try and find a buyer. It would take time for them to shop around for a buyer. And those people who are looking to sell this data and stuff like that are going to have one thing in their hearts at that moment they're doing it, and that's greed. And so if I was to go on the hackers forum and offer that person $2 a person's info, I doubt they'll accept it. But if I was like, yeah, let me get all 553 million at $5 a person, that's quite a bit of money. But then someone might come in and say, I'll offer you $10 a person. You see where I'm going? So it kind of gives that time to where information is not actually given out. Whereas if you're just like, screw it, I'm going to post it there for everyone to grab, and you post it for free, anyone can get it now because there's not a requirement. You don't have to pay anything for it. So if you wanted to go, if you're part of that forum and you know where that stuff is, you can go in there and get someone's info. And let's not even just talk about, getting into the country or sneaking into the country under someone else's credentials. Let's even talk about stalkers, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, psycho ones. You know what I mean? They may have lost contact with you. They don't know where the hell you are. And they happen to be in this hackers forum, and they're able to go through it, and up pops your data, pops your phone number, your current phone number, pops your email address, your current email address on Facebook, and locations and things like that. This is dangerous. A psycho X can literally just find you. And if they had the intent of doing anything, including the most detrimental one, which is taking your life away, this would be a tool to help them do it. So why isn't Facebook being punished harshly? Again, and this question goes to the US government. I mean, forget having these trials and have Zuckerberg get to stand there in a stupid suit with his stupid look on his face, looking like Commander Data from Star Trek. Forget that. We know that he's robotic and has no emotions and everything like that. Forget that. Why isn't he held accountable to a higher standard where this will actually teach social platforms that they better buckle down with their security for their users, their privacy for their users? And like I said, it all goes back to the quid pro quo between big tech companies such as Facebook and the US government. They're not going to penalize them. They're going to put on a pony show, right? They're going to have Ted Cruz, lead the panel, or maybe Jim Jordan lead the panel and ask all the grinding questions. But that's it. They're just going to ask the grinding questions. Biggest one, Mr. Zuckerberg explained to us, how did this happen? And Zuckerberg's going to give his explaint, and then with that deer in the headlights look, and then they're going to look at him and be like, but you are responsible for the privacy of this amount of users on your platform. Do you not see the severity and what happened here? But then after that, it's going to fade. The noise is going to fade. It's not even going to be an echo. And eventually, we're not even going to hear what happened to Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey last time when like certain platforms and certain businesses were silenced on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. Can anyone tell me, even the replay crew people, can you tell me in the comments what was the punishment handed out to these companies such as Twitter and Facebook? Because I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear an echo at all. I didn't hear nothing, not a damn thing. Right? We had the pony show. Right? We had Ted Cruz grill the hell out of Jack Dorsey. We had Ted Cruz grill the hell out of freaking Mark Zuckerberg. We had Ted Cruz grill the hell out of Sundar Pichai. But what was the punishment that was handed out? I didn't hear anything. I don't even know if the committee just went through with everything they were supposed to. If they just said, "Hey, no one's watching on social platforms, so let's just kill this committee, send it away." Didn't hear anything. Not a class action lawsuit, not a payout, nothing. The Gene says I use Twitter and more than FB. Yeah. I have a message posted on FB. I think today's the date I'm going to fully deactivate it again. I posted it on there because I deactivated my Facebook. I didn't tell anybody on Facebook about it. So like one of my friends thought that I was mad and deleted her or something like that. And I was like, no, I didn't. I'm getting off Facebook. So I figured anybody else that was on Facebook that followed me, I should just give them a post. So I posted on Facebook letting everyone know that I'm dropping Facebook as one of my active social platforms. And I left that message up long enough for people to see it, read it, and whatever. That way I can deactivate. So I'm going to deactivate today, and my Facebook is completely gone from that point. Gone. I don't even want to use it anymore. Every time I get a new credit card and I get an updated privacy policy, and the same with my bank. But do you think they both will follow that? They don't want to get sued. I mean, banking institutions is a bit different than social platforms, right? Social media platforms, they have one thing to use against the user, right? The user can always go up there and be like, yeah, I had private info on there. I had my credit card linked to it for payments on, potential services that your platform offers, like all those things. But they got one thing on you, and that is they didn't put a gun to your head and tell you to put all that information in. You chose to do it yourself, So while they can, be stung on the fact that they have a privacy policy that obviously holds them responsible, and they will have to eat that responsibility to a degree, they are always going to flip it on the user and say, well, we didn't put a gun to your head and tell you to upload those nude shots of you. Because yes, America, wake up. There are stupid people who will post nudes to a private folder on Facebook because they want to share that off when they're flirting with other users on Facebook that they meet. And those got stolen. So yeah, your chest shots are on the internet. Your D pics are on the internet. It's there. Nothing in the internet is sacred. I keep telling people that all the time. There's nothing on the World Wide Web, on the Webernet, that is sacred. It's not. People can find a way in if they really wanted to. Yeah, I thought Google was on trial about something they did, and they may spin off YouTube, and YouTube may go back to what it was before Google came along. I saw that Google's under fire over a lot of things, Gene. It's not one thing at a time. Google faces scrutiny and questions on a lot of the things that it does. Privacy, monopolizing on services in various different countries. They are under fire all the time. There are several countries that look at Facebook and say, hey, it's not fair that our small internet browser can't compete against your Chrome browser. And, so unions come together and file against Google. Google's always under fire. Same as Apple's always under fire. We just don't hear a lot of it because a lot of publications look at these things and they know that big tech is going to win. So there's no reason to cover it because there's not really anything that's going to come out of it. The only time that news media outlets will post on any of these things that either Google, Apple, Facebook, Twitter, them are under fire for is something that actually could blow the doors off Twitter. But usually when that happens, the ball is dropped and nothing is done. So, but that's the lovely people we have put into power. I thought they had to spin off YouTube and WhatsApp. What do you mean YouTube and WhatsApp? Google has nothing to do with WhatsApp. That's Facebook. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, just know that if you're a Facebook user and a very active Facebook user who keeps their information up to date, your information more than likely is stolen. You could be one of the 36 million US users that had their information taken. So, all right, let's switch tracks here real quick. Let's kind of get into this one. This one, not really a big tech thing, but something that's actually pretty cool. I would never know this. I would have bought two if I knew this was going to happen. But an ultra rare copy of Super Mario Bros. Fetches a record $660,000 at an auction. Could you imagine if you had a copy of Super Mario Brothers in prime condition, in the box, unopened? Could you imagine that you could have actually got this in an auction and sold it for $660,000? And this is Super Mario Brothers, and it doesn't say the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt combo, so this has to be just the Super Mario Brothers alone. So anyways, this was reported by TechSpot, and they said details. This copy is further unique in that it is a no-code type, meaning it only says NES GP on the back of the box by the Nintendo logo. Other variants have game-specific codes and is sealed in shrink wrap. What's more, the trademark marking is missing from the front of the box after the word system. It is also a no Rev A variant. Wow, that's crazy. An ultra rare version of the original Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo Entertainment System has fetched an astounding $660,000 at an auction. The game in question is a sealed copy of the popular title that put Nintendo on the map in North America in the mid-'80s. The particular example carries a 9.6 A+ rating from the Wada Game grading service, and according to the auction listing, it is both the finest plastic sealed copy with a perforated cardboard hang tab they've ever offered on any black box title, and also the oldest sealed copy of the Super Mario Brothers to pass through their hands. So here it is. Here's a picture of the actual game box with the game inside, sealed. So the cellophane hasn't been broken. The perforated box where you pull the tab to break it to bring out the cartridge, that is sealed. Everything about this is sealed. Nothing has ever been opened. Whoever this person was took very good care of it. They kept it wrapped. They must have sealed it in like a freaking airtight, dust-free box, because if you look at this here from the photo, even the color of the print, it's still vibrant. You would think by now there would be some sort of discoloration or anything like that, but it's sealed perfectly. The color is still vibrant. There's no loss in the gloss. The gloss is still good. Everything about this is just like, if I had this box in my hand, I wouldn't even thought this thing was made back in the mid-'80s. I would have thought this would have been a reproduction brought out, sold in 2021. That's how good. If you look at the front and back, you even get the demonstration of the game, next to Super Mario Bros. And then, the little quotes here, and then some important info there, barcode for scanning for purchase there, Nintendo logo there. I mean, it's just, I can see why it fetched that much. So it says at $660,000, the auction represents the most ever paid for a video game. A slightly different version of the same game sold for $114,000 at the auction last year. The seller, who wished to remain anonymous, said the game was purchased in late 1986 as a Christmas gift, but ended up being put inside a desk drawer and forgotten about until earlier this year. Wait a minute. How do you buy this game for Christmas? How do you get this game and not open it? You don't open it and you stick it in the drawer? So you bought it. So the game was bought in 1986 as a Christmas gift, and you're like, "Oh, Merry Christmas, Super Mario Brothers. I don't want no one to touch it, so I'm gonna put it in the drawer." And you totally forgot that it was in the drawer for all this whole time. And all of a sudden now you're like, "Oh, this was my 1986 Christmas gift. I never opened it. I wonder how much it's worth." And that is some craziness, because me being a gamer, there was no way on Christmas Day if I got that and say I didn't even have that as a game title. There's no freaking way that I would get Super Mario Brothers, a game that I would want for my Nintendo for Christmas, and not rip the sucker open Christmas Day. That is strange. Let's see. The person says it stayed in the bottom of my desk this whole time since the day I bought it. I never thought anything about it. You never thought anything about it because what? You're not a gamer. That is insane. Bought for Christmas, and never opened. Never opened. You put it at the bottom of a desk and you forgot? Get the hell out of here with that. No way. No way. You know, you knew this thing was going to fetch some money in the future, so you bought 2 copies. Like, stop lying. I want to talk to this person who auctioned this and got $660,000 on it, and I will bet him all his money, his winnings, the entire $660,000. They full of shit. You didn't buy this game and stick it in a drawer and totally forgot about it. You bought 2 copies and you put one in a drawer because you were like, hey, this thing would probably fetch if I kept it sealed in the box. So you went to the store. These games at the time were going for like $39.99 or $49.99. So you went and you bought your 2 freaking copies of it. You stuck one in a drawer, or vice versa. You bought a Nintendo Entertainment System before you got this one. You bought the Nintendo Entertainment System that came with Mario Duck Hunt combo. So you didn't need to open this one. You bought this because you wanted it for nostalgic purposes and to save it. And it paid off in the end. Just be real to people. Don't try to act nonchalant. I don't know. Maybe, okay. I'm having a glass of haterade, I guess, because I find it annoying. Like, don't bullshit people and try to be all nonchalant about it. Like, oh yeah, I totally forgot it was there, and so I figured, hey, this would be a cool item to auction now. Bull, you knew there's gonna be value. There's like the kids that I knew probably got good money off their GI Joe figurines, their action figures. I remember I had a friend of mine. I would open my GI Joes and fucking play in the backyard with them all the time. I had friends who would buy two of the same action figure of GI Joes. One they would throw in a box and never open it. The other one they would open and play with. I knew people who bought He-Man action figures and they would literally buy 2 of the same and put it away. Hell, I bought 2 of the same Ninja Turtle action figures, and stupid me, because you know, my family was very nomadic. We moved around a lot because my dad was in the military. I lost the ones that were sealed in the box. Just imagine if I had the original, and I would say they're the original because when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon, hit TVs, and then they started making live action movies on it, they also made action figure toys. And those action figure toys are not today's toys. Those were the first ever printed toys for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How do you know if you got one? Look at the turtles you have. First of all, you know, the original, actually, let me Google it and see. But I know for a fact, like the color of hey, my video on my second channel just went live. The color of the turtles for the original ones were different, right? So like Donatello was more of like a brownish green. Let's see if I can find images on them. Well, they got like all these different ones. I can already tell which ones are not it. Because the original ones, they had different colors. So like, yeah, of course they had like their bandana colors, but like their skin colors was different. Does not anybody have a photo of one? I mean, they got a photo of Donatello, but that's Donatello. I mean, you know, where's, you know, Raphael and Leonardo and all them? Ah, there we go. All right. Let me just kind of zoom in right there. Okay, so I will stop the screen share of that, but let me show the original Ninja Turtles toys. So, all right, on the far right, with the little yellowish kind of background, those are them. Those are the vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures, and I bought 2 of each of those. Like I said, I don't know if you guys remember these old past stories that I told on video or on live stream, where I said I used to collect Ninja Turtle toys. I had a buttload of them, and my sister and my dad would always give me crap because I was more interested in collecting hero actions than villains. My dad would be like, "How are you going to play with them? You don't even have a foot soldier to fight, or this, and that, and the third." I don't want a foot soldier right now. I'll worry about those later. Because those to me were like a dime a dozen on the action figures. You'll find them all the time there, because when kids go to the toy store, they always go for the hero toys. They don't go for the villain toys. So they were going to be there. But getting, Raphael, getting Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, getting them all was going to be really, really hard, because kids would buy them out as soon as they were in stock. They were bought out. Parents would go there and buy them out. So, but I mean, I knew these things were going to be worth something down the road, obviously. And so that's why, I was in the business of collecting them. So this person who had the Super Mario Brothers vintage NES cartridge sealed in the box knew that they were going to fetch something for it down the road. Probably didn't expect $660,000. Maybe they thought they would be able to sell it for $50,000. Who knows? But they knew they were going to get something for it. It's just cleverness and that person's part paid off. So I say to that person, congratulations, dude. You got a shiny penny for that. But don't bullshit us into thinking that you just nonchalantly bought the game and stuck it in your drawer and totally forgot about it. Yeah, you knew what you're doing, because then if you didn't know what you were going to do with it, you wouldn't have brought it to the auction. You wouldn't have. That's just me. That's sad enough as it is. You saw that earlier today on Twitter. What, the auction for Mario Brothers classic NES cartridge? Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, so let's just move on to the next thing here, and I'll pop this on the screen so you guys can follow along with me on this. Saturday morning live stream. Again, don't forget. Before I continue on, don't forget that this afternoon there will be a members only live stream, and the topic discussion for that live stream is the next version of the iPhone SE. Will it be 5G? What type of 5G? What body style are they going to go with? All that's going to be discussed. So we're going to be talking about the future iPhone SE. So don't miss that. If you're not a member of the channel, now's a good time to become one. You can choose any of the tiers. You don't have to choose the top tier. You can choose any of the tiers, and that puts you into the live stream. And these live streams will never be seen publicly on YouTube, right? So it's for the members. It stays for members only. It's archived for the members to go back and watch if they want to. It will never be released publicly to anybody else. So benefits of being a member. One of the benefits. But anyways, all right. So next subject at hand, we are talking about Google is limiting which apps can see everything else you have installed. This is actually pretty good. I like this. So it says here, this is actually written by The Verge. And it says Google will soon be more selective about which apps on the Play Store can see all of the other apps you have installed. As Ars Technica points out, your list of apps installed apps, innocent as seems, can communicate to developers personal traits like dating preferences and political affiliations. So starting on May 5th, 2021, developers will have to provide a very good reason for why Google should let you access info like that. Android 11 apps that currently request the query all packages permissions can see the full list of apps you have stored on your device. But Google recently updated its developer program policy and now considers that info to be personal and sensitive user data, restricting which apps are allowed to use it. Once the change goes into effect in May, apps can only use the permission if their core user-facing functionality or purpose requires broad visibility into installed apps on the user's device. Example of apps that will be permitted to continue using this permission include file managers, browsers, antivirus apps that need the data for awareness or interoperability purposes, Banking apps, digital wallet apps, and other apps that involve financial transaction functionality will get a pass for security-based purposes. Apps that don't have a justifiable use case for permission risk being removed from the Google Play Store. All developers who want to keep their permissions in their apps need to complete a declaration form justifying their use of it. In case you are worried that developers could still misuse the permissions, Google's documentation clearly states it will come down hard on offending apps, whether they're new to the Play Store or just updates to existing apps. Google could suspend apps and possibly terminate developer accounts. So this is actually pretty good, and I like that they're doing this. I really do. Now, exactly how well is this going to work? Hey, Oscar, how's it going, man? Welcome and good morning to you. This lovely Saturday. So here's the thing, right? One of the things that I talked about in that article regarding this, limiting apps being able to see what other apps you have installed. So today, and I've talked about this before with cancel culture and stuff like that. Today, everyone seems to be vindictive. They want to dox people. They want to go after them, get them fired for their jobs or whatever, just because they have a disagreement on something as stupid as politics. And there are ways that these apps can actually find out your political affiliation, as it just said and mentioned that in that article, because it can see the types of apps you have installed on your phone, and it can see your traits, the things that you do, and it will actually share that. Information. And so somebody can use that to personally attack you. That's one of the things that why they are limiting this. So any company that wants to have access to that information as a developer would have to submit a documentation to Google requesting and giving a reason why they specifically need it. If it's not a good reason, Google will not authorize it. But like your banking apps and stuff like that, that do need to see that information, obviously are going to have access to it. Are banks looking to take down people? Yeah, they are. They are. Who am I going to kid? They are. You know what I mean? Bank businesses are just as interested in controlling people as government, world governments, and tech giant companies. We're not safe from anything, really. We're all looked at as commodity to own, and that's the saddest case. But it is facts, though. And at the end of the day, doing something like this, kind of really, it doesn't restore my faith in Google 100%, but it's a step in the right direction for Google to do that. I honestly, personally feel that, our privacy should be our privacy. And I guess that's the main subject for today is our privacy is our privacy. Really, it needs to be that. So we'll see how effective this is, because to me, these are just words. I want to see some action. Okay. Like from one of my top 20 bands, Powerman 5000, play the song Action if you want to know what I'm talking about by Powerman 5000. But I want to see some action. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that Google's lying about it. I'm just saying that I just want to see some action. Like words is words, but when I actually start seeing them doing something about it, like if I see a company that violates that terms, and I read about Google taking away their developer account, terminating their developer accounts, and stuff like that, then I'll fully believe it. But until then, it's just words. So anyways, I got like 10 minutes left in my podcast. You guys know me. I always run it about an hour. So I'm going to leave 10 minutes up to you guys to just ask or say anything that you guys want in the chat. Ask any question you guys want before I close it out for today. It's Saturday. So I'm doing good, Oscar. I appreciate you for asking. I'm actually doing pretty good. My leg's feeling a little bit better. It's still bruised, but it still feels better. I can walk on it much better. I just can't lean forward. I can't put weight forward, or I feel it where the bruise is at on my shin, like above my ankle. It starts to hurt really bad. So will Google drop apps, or does this for new apps that want to come into the Play Store? It's for both. So this new thing that they're doing, where you as a developer would have to submit reason why your app needs to be able to see, all the apps that a user has on their phone. New developer or old developer has to submit. They have to fill out a form requesting to be able to see that information with their application, and then they have to give a very detailed reason why. And it can't be a BS reason. You know, if it's a reason that Google deems is not good enough to receive that type of information with their application, then they will just say no, denied. If they find a way to go around Google to get that information for their application, then yeah, they're terminated. New developer, old developer, doesn't matter. Their developer account gets terminated. They can no longer host their apps in the Play Store. So, like I said, it sounds good that Google wants to buckle down on security, but I want some proof. I want some tangible proof. I want to see somebody go down, and then I know Google's really doing it. You're praying for me? I appreciate it, Oscar. I really do. I'm okay. You know, at least my leg is not broken or fractured. That's what I was worried about. Was it being like a hairline fracture on the bone or something like that? I hope my favorite apps in the Play Store won't get dropped. No, they're not. They're not going to drop any applications unless it violates that term. And like they said, you know, like for instance, like Facebook would not need to know a list of applications you have installed on your phone. There's no good reason for Facebook to have that. There's no good reason for Facebook to have access to that information through their application of your traits, you know, what types of things are you searching online and stuff like that. Like there's no reason for Facebook to have it. So, I mean, they're not going to drop it. Like Haps, if you're worried about Haps going down, Haps is not looking for that type of information. So they're not, you know, they don't have that permission set into their application on the Play Store. There's mostly banking apps and stuff like that have that information or have access to that information. And it's not like they're getting a file that shows all the information. It's the app reading that information while it's installed on your phone. That's what they mean. So yeah, the developer would have to submit reasons why their application looks and reads for that information. And if it's not good enough, then they would have to rewrite their application. They would have to do like a app update that removes that permission and takes away that feature from their own application of doing that. Now that's what they mean. The only way they're going to get dropped is if they violate the term. So if they continue to do this without Google's permission and without submitting documentation requests why they need to have access to this with their application, then they'll get dropped. I know Google won't drop their own app like YouTube Studios, Maps, etc., and stuff like that. It is their platform. Their platform sees it. So the thing is they're regulating third-party apps that they host in the Play Store. Google Maps obviously is going to need that information, but like not that information in particular. Maps doesn't need to know who you're politically involved with, but they do track location history. YouTube doesn't really need to know your political affiliation because this is a social platform where people make videos and do live streams. We kind of shoot ourselves in the foot there. They don't need to see information. They get it from us anyways. I mean, all these videos are archived if you kind of think about it. So what you say on here, it's there for anybody to get, you know? So people already know where I stand politically. I mean, they take an educated guess. I mean, over the last year, you know, I've made some enemies. I don't spend my time arguing with them on social platforms. You know, I hear the stuff they say about me or what they tell me. They wish I would die. They wish I would, you know, whatever. I'm not going to say all the stuff that they say because it's really bad, but I don't care. I don't pay any attention to it. So, but yeah, I kind of made that known here on YouTube just by me being me on here. So it is what it is. You know, I'm gonna put it. It's kind of like, and it sounds bad. It sounds bad to say that, but like, you know, Google will put these rules that they don't have to follow. And of course they don't have to because it's their world. We're just living in it. But I don't want third-party apps having access to that type of information anyway. So I don't want Twitter to be able to have that information. So what, they can cancel my Twitter account? All the people who follow me on Twitter will just lose access to the things that I say. You know, those are the things that I'm looking at. So I'm not really too concerned with Google whatsoever. because we made these companies as big as they are. People kind of forget that. Like they're wondering, like, why is Google so big? Why is Facebook so big? Why is Twitter so big? Because we made it big. That's why. People don't like what Facebook does. If everyone was just to just delete their account off Facebook, and Facebook had no users, what would be the purpose of Facebook and how big Facebook would be then? They wouldn't be big at all. They'd be tiny, super tiny. But so I guess what they say, people that are narcissistic won't ever grasp that concept. They'll hate on Facebook for its policies, or they'll be mad at Facebook that privacy was breached, but their narcissistic side will outweigh their anger for that, and they'll stay on the platform. It's better listening to those people, Tito. Maybe listening to those people. That's it at the end of the day. Today is what today is. Some people will disagree and say, no, you can always change what tomorrow will be by your actions of today. Delete their Twitter accounts for 1 year and see what happens to Twitter. I mean, yeah, everyone would have to do that. But I mean, there's people who just won't. There's people who don't even care. There's people who, of all the things, you know what? I'll add that into tonight's live stream. So we'll talk about the iPhone SE and 5G version that's possibly coming this year or next year. We'll talk about Twitter. I'll tell you guys my conspiracy theory about Twitter. And like I said, it's a conspiracy theory because unless I have full facts in my hands, but I'll tell you what I think about what's happening with Twitter and how it's going to affect everybody. So, oh, wow. Today's members only live stream is going to be really, really interesting. So like I said, if you want in on the action, just become a member. The lowest tier is 99 cents. Join in, and that gives you access to joining the live stream and watching it. All my members only live streams are not monetized, so I'm going to cut really loose, right? Because I don't have to worry about, demonetization or anything like that. And I will show you things that is considered fair use. Since I'm not monetizing, I don't got to worry about copyright or any of that stuff. So yeah, you definitely want to get in on those members only live streams. Now I'm pushing those now. That happens. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for joining in. Gene, Oscar, thank you guys for being interactive and engaging on today's live stream. I know it's not like the best topics or anything like that, but something I felt that people need to know about. I'm going to hop off right now. If you came in the middle or towards the end of the live stream and you missed the whole talks about Facebook, rewatch from the beginning. If you're coming in and actually watching it as a replay person, #replay crew. That way I know you guys, came in later on and watched it. And my on the second channel, a new video dropped covering the Pixel 2. Go ahead and check that out. That just went up about, got a notification a while ago, but yeah, it went up at 9 a.m. my time. So yeah, it'll be cool. Thanks so much for watching. Also, by the way, if you caught the new opening intro for the live stream, let me know what you guys think of that Spawn intro. Yeah, I decided to switch it up a little bit today, so I'll rock with that for a while. Anyways, y'all be cool. Be safe out there. Love you guys very much. See you on the next one. And for those who are members, don't miss tonight's members only. So I will tweet it 1 hour ahead before I'm going to do it. I will share the link to it 1 hour ahead before I do it. I will set it up so it's ready to go. And yeah, just set a timer, set a reminder so you guys don't miss it. Until next time, guys. Peace.